Alright, hi guys. This is just my experience with the game so far. It's an early release from Steam and the reviews are pretty bad. I'd say it's 50-50 of the people that hate it and people that love it. But even the people that love it are iffy about it. It's because there's a lot of problems with the game at the time being. Hopefully when they release the game properly, they'll be fixing a lot of the issues. But it's a pretty old game. It's been on the phone for well over 2 to 3 years, even longer than that probably. I've seen videos past 2 years ago, and they're pretty much the same as the game is now. Much hasn't changed, just that they put it on Steam, recycled it basically. And some people don't like that because they see it, they play for 30 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes, they see it's just recycled content, and they just like immediately leave it a bad review. So I take the reviews with a grain of salt. But there has been a lot of people that have complained about their internet going out or their power going out because of the weather, and when that happens they lose all their progress. It's like the factory resets their account, which means they lose everything. And that can happen. It seems like it's happened multiple times, and people that have spent money on the game don't get what they like, don't get their items back, don't get their progress back, because the company doesn't do anything about it. So if you are going to spend money on this game, I'd take it with a grain of salt before you do really see if you're willing to lose that completely, because there is a chance that you will not get it back or just lose all your progress, because the game has happened that to people in the past. So, and here's some tips that I want to give for people that are starting that I didn't know and wish I knew, because it can get pretty frustrating not knowing, because there's not much out there about this game besides like the forum posts and other things like that. So here's some things that I found out. So the first thing is, you see here where you click. If you click very fast, you click and you'll see these cars. Every time you pass a car, you'll get money. That's the green bar up here. But the main thing is this right here. You have to click, hold, and drag over, and you have to do it multiple times because sometimes it's very finicky because it was designed for the phone. And this game is really just a recycled phone game. As well as that is what, at first I thought you'd have to do something with these trucks. I think for the first 3 hours of the game I was trying to swipe at trucks. There'll be white trucks that are like pedo vans, and you'll see them appear a lot. Let's see if I can get one of them to appear. Uh, well, I'll just explain something else and wait for one of these trucks to appear. But usually they appear right here, and what actually happens is that you just get double the money. That's all. That's all that happens. You're not supposed to swipe or anything. The only time you're swiping in this game is just for that, like those arrows to get a bonus. And the bonus is usually collector's coins, money, or a nitrous boost. Now, one thing to take in is these guilds. So when you start the game, you want to get into a guild as soon as possible. And it's because I think you can get in the guild once you hit bronze 4, and these will automatically give you a bonus performance and a bonus gold. And the bonus, and when I first get it, I think it's 10% at rank 1. And as well as you can also buy things when you're in a guild. So when you're in a guild, you get these points, these guild points, and you can use them to buy stuff. Now, I recommend strongly to not spend any of it on these. Nitrous boost you get anyways for free, and cash cases you get for free as well when you do your daily challenges. And so the main one is really collector coins that's my opinion the best ones. And so I would go for the 200 because you'd get way more out of your guild points. So I just save until you get the 200, because collector coins are more useful than most of the other things in here. And if you buy the 8,000, you're losing out a lot of collector coins when you buy the 8,000. As well as you can see that you can see who's done what, and the morale is a little bit finicky as in the game. So if I use morale like I do, I just use it 15 minutes. Now I've played with my friends, so we share their screens. Sometimes they can see this and sometimes they can't. I don't know why, because sometimes he'll have almost a full bar and I'll have nothing, and I don't know if it's giving me the extra bonus points or not, but on my screen I see nothing. So my team, it says you're sharing it with your team, but I don't know if you actually do. Another thing that's very finicky is the bonuses. So like the bonuses for here, let's go to a crewmate, for example. It says bonus cash while all offline. Where is he? Right here. Bonus cash offline. I get 975% bonus cash. The problem with offline cash is that half the time I swear I don't get anything, or I come back 13 or 14 hours later and I end up at the exact same place I was. and then sometimes I come back with a bunch of money. It's really 50-50 if it actually even works. So you gotta be worried when you're spending your credits on these characters. Another thing that's an issue is in the right here for the tournaments, well, you can do tournaments every, I'd say this happens every like 4 days. This happens not often. They're all on a timer schedule, so 130 hours, 70 hours, and 22 hours. This one's happening right now, and you can see that I'm in it right now, and I'm in second. But that changes dramatically, because the second I get offline, there'll be people that are playing, or not even playing yet, that are much further in the game and beat me instantly. And I'll probably not get that reward number 2. So you want to be number 2 at the end of the event to get the reward. But the problem is, the events, when you click on them to start them, it tells you that you're going to reset from the beginning, but I wasn't reading, and what I did was I immediately just kept on clicking, because I'm trying to beat my friend and be faster than him. So I was just clicking frantically, and it reset me immediately back to 0. So you have to reset completely back to 0 to do these events, which sounds fair. That means everyone starts at the same starting point. But the one warning that it popped up with is just, I just didn't even look at it, so I guess it was kind of my fault. But yeah, you can just be careful with that, as well as these collector coins. So what you want to do with these collector coins is buy as many of these packs as you can with these collector coins, and you get them for completing the bosses at the end of the day. Like when these first check marks are 1 coin, and the big boss is worth 2 coins. And you can get characters that give you percentage bonuses so that you can get more collector coins later on, even cars. And these collector coins are very useful, but one mistake that I did in the very beginning is these booster sets. I wasn't paying attention in the beginning, and I just immediately clicked through everything and didn't notice that, because these are exclamation marks, so I'm always thinking like, oh, I have to click on these and I have to add them to them to get a bonus. As you can see, you get a bonus of performance if you put a bunch of them in, but that's not really what you should be doing. I've put in so many in random ones. So for example, this set, I put in 5 of these parts in, and I shouldn't have, because I should have kept them, because in the booster album, the way they actually work is if you have a certain amount of them and you use them to upgrade, you get bonuses. So I think it starts off at 100%, and if you upgrade it, it goes to 250% and to even, let's see if I can find a level. Oh, I don't think I have a single level 2. Anyways, I think it's 250%, which is almost double to triple, and I'm at 350% now with my level 3 cards. And you should just, as soon as you get these, upgrade them, because it increases your performance dramatically for everything, and it makes it so it's easier for you to get back to where you had to reset from, because the game is literally, you get to a certain point where you get stuck and it's too hard to continue, you reset, get a bunch of bonuses, and among crewmates, get more collector coins, and upgrade and get further in the game, but it's only slightly further. Now these rare ones are slightly different. These ones are for cost, so you use them to upgrade. And for example, I can upgrade this one, the battery cable, so that means right now it's 1% if I have one of them, and if I upgrade, now it's 2% less, and the next upgrade will be 3%. Now these aren't particularly super useful. I don't know if they're worth spending, because 2% is just 2%. I guess if it's like on a bigger ticket item, 2% can be huge, but on these smaller ticket items that you're going to be spending most of your money anyways on, it's not dire that you need them, but it is pretty useful to pay slightly less. The premium shop, I wouldn't spend diamonds on anything except blueprints. But not these blueprints specifically. These blueprints, I guess, can be useful if you're looking for a specific type, but your diamonds should really be saved for the special bonuses. So randomly you'll have perks, like these cars pop up, where you can get 3 of the specific car and plus 3 random blueprints for the cost of between 200 diamonds and 300 diamonds, 200 being the cheaper ones and 300 being the more expensive ones. And you can get that 3 random ones as well, and here you can only get 5 random ones, so you don't know what most of them are going to be, and you can always just choose the ones you like, and then after a little while they reset anyway, so you get to choose from more anyways. You just have to wait and be patient, and it can be good, but when you use them on these cash cases or nitro boosts, you get nitro boosts for free anyways, as well as the cash case, so there isn't really much of a point. As well as these card change tokens, you get so many of these. Like I have 23, because I've resetted the game that many times, because I'm playing for free, so it takes longer for me. And I've never really needed to buy any of these. Because these cash cases, you get plenty from the daily challenges. You get one every 30 minutes. Let's see what I get. Ooh, 2 diamonds. Let's go. And, yeah, so, like, the auto tapper, I guess you could buy it, but I mean, you could install your own auto tapper, like this right here. It works exactly the same, and you can just use it yourself. And it's pretty simple. It's just a macro button you use, and it's pretty simple to set up. It probably takes you 5 minutes, and then you don't have to pay that amount anyways. And then as well as these boosters, I recommend using them together. So for example, these make it so that, like right here, these are the auto tapper and the money tapper. The money tapper is you should only really be using, let's see what it's actually called. It's called the cash tap sponsor cash. And you should only be using this when you get stuck. So when you get all the way to a point where it's hard for you to progress, and then you use this and you get a ton of cash, like a ton, and then you could use it to progress even further. And it can be very helpful to have near the end. So I like to see what people do is they use it off the beginning. And using it in the beginning is not really smart because it takes about an hour, and it takes about 2 hours for it to reset. And that's a lot of time you have to wait. So it's much easier just to wait until you get to a point where you're stuck and then use it. And the auto tab reviews with it, then you can just get it further and faster. And let's look at something else that we probably want to cover. The challenges. The challenges are huge. Now, the challenges give you a bunch of things, like from blueprints to even cash cases, and sometimes even diamonds and collector coins. Like for the daily challenges, you can get diamonds, you can get collector coins. So it's very useful to do these daily challenges, and they're usually super simple. Like, use the skill 3 times, that's it. That's pretty easy to do. Worst case scenario, if it's too hard for you to do, like some of them will pop up would be like, oh, right here, ride a critical nitro for 14 seconds. Now, it's pretty easy to do that as long as you have the crewmates that help you do that. And even 14 seconds at the very bare minimum level is still possible. And it gives you 3 cash cases, and 3 cash cases are 150 diamonds, so they give you quite a bit, so there's no point on using your diamonds on this. Another thing I want to point out is these crewmates. So some crewmates are much better than others. Like for example, there's this character called Daryl. I don't have him. It'd be super useful if I did have Daryl. And it makes it so that you have 1 less opponent, and you get a ton of bonus cash. I think he gives like 75% bonus cash every time you level him up, and it gives you 1 less opponent. So my friend has it leveled up enough for level, I believe, 6, which gives him 2 less opponents. And that means he has to only do this 18 times before he fights a boss. So in the very beginning of the progression, he gets the much faster progression because he's got a character that gives him 2 less opponents per race. And that adds up over time when you have 4 races plus a boss. So there's 5 races, and there's a total of 10 of them, so 5 times, that's 50. And there's also bronze 5, and then bronze 4, which is now another 50. And then there's another 50 for bronze 3, 50 for bronze 2, 50 for bronze 1. It adds up. That's like almost let's say 200 for bronze, right? Let's say 200 times the amount that you're missing out on, which is 2, which is 200 times 2, 400 more races that I have to do just to get to the same point where he is, which is ridiculous and can be very useful. So if you're in the very beginning stages of the game, it's not that difficult to reset. And so if you could always just reset and try your best to get the best crewmate the first time, and so that you can have a faster progression later. Some of them are very useful, and some of them I'd say are kind of iffy at most. There's one character that gives you, it minuses the amount of time you have to wait for the next bonus, or the next time you use one. But the only one I think is considered useful is the nitrous one, because the nitrous one only takes 20 minutes to recuperate. And if you can minus 9 seconds each time you level it up, can help. But for the cash one, 9 seconds off 2 hours is not much, and if you cost that much to upgrade them, it's not really worth it. Every character should be leveled up a little bit, because in the very beginning of every character, it's super cheaper to level up, and they all of them offer bonus cash, and bonus cash can always be very helpful to getting more experience. Now, hiring a new crewmate, it can be hard too, because you have to save multiple times to just get there. Or just play the game enough where you've upgraded these so much where it's almost impossible to upgrade unless you upgrade a new character. But that's going to be a while. these I'd recommend. Honestly, in the beginning, I'd always by accidentally click on them, and I wouldn't really use them until the very end anyways. So what I'd do is I wouldn't buy them, so they wouldn't appear here. But it's kind of annoying because you just have an exclamation mark here telling you that there's something you can upgrade, you should upgrade. But if you don't buy them, you can't by accidentally click on them, and that's been a real pain. Like, I by accidentally clicked on this one earlier, and now I'm out for a cash case for this entire run, basically, unless I leave and come back, which I could, but it's just a hassle. So a much easier way to do it is just not buy any of them until you're as far as possible, and then buy as many as you can, and then you can use them all, or use one of them, or a specific one you need. So if you're only going to use the cash one, you should only buy the cash one. Another thing is achievements. So achievements increases your performance bonus, I think by 2% per achievement completed. So it's always good to always check here and click on here, because sometimes it won't pop up as a notification. And so you would want to click here and collect all, and you can get all the ones possible. And some of them are very easy, like for example, upgrading your. It's supposed to be upgrading your things, so the amount of upgrades you have. And some of them are very simple, just resetting the game, collecting boosters, gathering unique boosters, gathering 1k collectibles. Like, they're all very simple. Owning a specific amount of cars, like owning more cars gives you more, and the more you get, the more diamonds you get, which can be easy to use to get more cars, and on top of that, it increases your performance bonus. So it's never a bad thing not to collect them. Yeah, I think it's pretty much everything that I can think of at the moment about this game so far. Hope you enjoyed, and this is just my rambles that I have. I could be wrong, I could be right. Comment below if you think of anything else that I've missed. There's probably tons of things I've missed. And have a wonderful day.